Hello and welcome back to the Cinch YouTube channel, where today we have ourselves a Civic Type R and another Civic Type R, because yes, this is the new car and that is the old one, and we want to see which is fastest. Or actually, to be more specific, we want to see how much faster the FL5 is than its predecessor, the FK8, and where and why. So I think we should hit the track and find out. Before we do that though, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the Cinch channel. Oh, and if you like your hot hatches as much as we do, you better get checking out cinch.co.uk, where we've got plenty available on there. And it's also available on our app. Oh, a Renault Sport Megane. Well, jumping back in an FK8 Civic Type R feels like going for a drink with an old friend. This car, all right, yeah, not the easiest on the eye, and naturally next to the FL5, it really highlights just how cluttered the design of this car is. But get behind the wheel, don't look in a mirror, don't pass any shop windows, and it doesn't matter how it looks. What matters is how it drives, and it remains a really, really lovely car to drive. I mean, the engine in this car is basically the same as the engine you get in the new one, but of course it's got a little bit less power, but it still feels really very quick. Brakes feel great, the steering feel is so good, and of course the car turns in and rotates like a proper hot hatch, but one that generates downforce. Now, there is a slight difference in the car's tyres, which is potentially going to be interesting today. We have, of course, bigger wheels on this FK8 car. It runs with 20-inch rims, but the tyres are smaller and they're Continentals on this car. But, well, when it comes to the basics of just driving this FK8, wow. It's still a tremendous car. Look at that, we're accelerating so quickly. The gearbox is really lovely to use. The rev match function, there's an auto rev match. You can heel and tow, and it is very rewarding to heel and tow. But the auto function works excellently well, and the gearbox is sublime. I said when I first drove the FL5, I couldn't see where they'd be able to improve this gearbox, and I haven't driven that FL5 yet today. And even though I have a memory of it being really, really good, I just don't know where the improvements can be made. This gearbox is so lovely. It's right up there with some of the best ever gearboxes ever made for any manual car. Oh, and the brakes are really, really good. So where is the new car going to be faster? Well, I don't know where this car can be slower, really. Look, on the brakes it's just great. I'm in the wrong gear, but yet I've still got 400 Newton meters of torque to haul me out of the bends, and of course I've got 320 horsepower when I want to rev this turbocharged 4-cylinder engine out. I guess where we're going to see the improvements is just overall grip, although as you can see, I'm bouncing in the car because there is so much grip. I love this car. I cannot wait to put it up against the stopwatch. But first, let's jump in the FL5 and see where those changes really make a difference. Right, now it's time for the FL5, which I have to admit, it feels quite a big step up already. I mean, I've been in the car for 12 seconds. You can feel the extra throttle response, the extra responsiveness from the upgraded turbocharged 4-cylinder this car has. So much is shared with that older model, but also there are enough changes that it does feel like quite a different beast. And I haven't even mentioned that the interior of this car as well is just a much nicer place to be. It's more up to date, of course. And the seating position, again, is spot on with all the controls, but I feel a little bit lower in the car. I don't know if I actually am, but it's your surroundings that tell you, as it tries to oversteer, that you are a bit lower in the car. I feel like I can read it through my backside a bit clearer. Now, the previous model, the FK8, just like this car, got better as the tyre temperatures came up. So while we're on different tyres, there's definitely more performance to come after 1 or 2 laps of warm-up. This car does have different drive modes. That's one of the best improvements the FL5 has compared to the FK8. It's that you can set the suspension, for example, to be soft, but the engine to be powerful, which is great on the road. But we're on a racetrack, so both of these cars, it doesn't matter that the other car doesn't have that added flexibility, because both these cars are set with everything in their most extreme setting, which is full plus R. Now, how does it feel on the straight? Let's drop it back into third. Fast. Brakes, mega. I mean, it's hard to tell the difference between the two cars on the brakes because they're both really, really good. It does feel, and I said this in our earlier review video when we drove the FL5 for the first time at Thruxton, it does feel like this car is firmer. Honda does say they've tweaked suspension and damping, so of course it does allow the car to steer a little bit quicker. It feels quicker to react on the nose, which is lovely. Now, both of these cars have a limited slip differential, their own ones, but this car's one. What that does, by the way, is it helps you to put the power down through the front wheels. The new car has a slightly tweaked one, and I think you can really feel the effect. It hauls you through the corner even more than the FK8. Tire temperature's coming up now. It's proper quick. Very bouncy through the corners because I'm just getting so much grip from these Michelins, which are on a smaller wheel than the older car. This is very unusual for a manufacturer to have shrunk the wheel size in an update or in a new model. We've now got 19-inch wheels in this car, but crucially, they are wider, which means we've got more tyre on the ground, a wider contact patch, more grip, and boy, do you know it. Oh, and this gearbox, well, the other one felt perfect, and yeah, I have to admit, this one is just that little bit sweeter, which is really amazing because it didn't feel like there was room for improvement, but it's just a bit lighter through the gate, but at the same time, more positive as you slide it into the gears. It's just super rewarding. The weighting of the clutch pedal, everything is spot on. What a fabulous car to drive. Now there's going to be two interesting things to test here. Firstly, how much quicker is this car around the track? I mean, I hope it goes quicker, otherwise I'm doing something seriously wrong. So assuming that all goes to plan, how much quicker is it? And also, can it get close or can it indeed beat the lap time set by the FK8 limited edition we drove last year? Now that was the most extreme version of this car's predecessor, and it had very sticky tyres, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres, the sort of stuff you see on GT Porsches. So it is by far the fastest hot hatch we've ever timed around our circuit. Could this steal that car's crown? There's only one way to find out, and that's by me calming down a bit, getting my helmet on, and us getting the stopwatch out. Let's do this. Woo-hoo! Wow, yes, what we thought would happen has happened. The FL5 is quicker than the FK8, but I did not expect it to be over 2 seconds in difference. That is a spectacular time. And to be honest, there's probably a few more tenths in this FL5. I was building up to it because it really does take building up to. It is so quick. So much so that it has gone quicker than that limited edition as well, which obviously ran more extreme tyres. So this is the fastest hot hatch we've ever timed at Rockingham. Now talking of tyres, of course this car was running, the FK8 was running a different tyre. It's running a Continental, which is slightly less extreme. So maybe the gap would be a little bit smaller if they were running on the same rubber. But let's be frank here, clearly the FL5 is a big step up on a car that was already tremendous. That was the best hot hatch on sale a few years ago, and this thing has just thrashed it. Quicker down the straight, way quicker on the throttle, much quicker to spool up its turbo, and also the brakes did eventually actually feel a bit better. And also what was really key was how it turned in. I could get the car turned in on the brakes, it would rotate, I could get on the power and use the limited slip differential. That is driving pleasure in a front wheel drive car. This FK8, still tremendous, but I just had to be a bit more patient with it in areas. Anyway, I think these two cars are both excellent hot hatches, and I'm so happy Honda is still making supreme machines like these. But what do you think? Are there cars out there, are there front wheel drive cars out there that can beat them? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, do get clicking the subscribe button and liking the video as well. Hopefully we'll see you soon, because we're going to be back at Rockingham.